This program is brought to you by Resonance 104.4 FM. If you like what you hear and want to support our work, please make a donation at fundraiser.resonance.fm.
Good evening and welcome to One Life Left. We're a video game radio show broadcasting live on Resonance 104.4 FM. My name is Ste Curran.
Hello, I'm Simon Byron.
And I'm Anne Scantlebury.
What's up?
I can't hear myself.
Wait,
What's up,
hold up. It is a hot
Isn't
day.
it?
It's a hot day.
And it's good to be back, isn't it?
So there's something up your ears, is there, Anne?
Yeah. Oh well, I don't really need to hear you. It's fine.
How's your face?
Right. Well, I have a bone to pick with you, more specifically my cheekbone.
Right.
So we went to Hyde Park on Saturday.
Is this your bone?
Taylor Swift was there.
Right.
We were there beforehand playing cricket.
Some of us were.
Some of us were playing cricket. Some of us hit a ball that landed on some of us' faces.
It's a beautiful stroke, Steve, wasn't it?
It was absolutely gorgeous. Your form, Simon,
Thanks.
is impeccable.
Thanks very much.
this year.
You said try and hit Anne in the face.
I did. I said, I bet you can't
Yeah.
hit Anne in the face. That didn't happen. Well, why didn't you apologise?
I apologise at the time.
You did.
I'm sorry.
I asked
I
if I
told
was
you
there for a
shouldn't
Taylor
sit.
Swift ticket and you said no.
You shouldn't sit at Silly Mid-On, should you?
Do you know where Silly Mid-On is?
No, I don't. No. Where is it?
It's exactly where Anne was sat. It's not. She was more.
Have you had a good
long
week,
gone.
Steve?
I've had a good week. I've had a very, very crickety week, actually. I went to see Surrey play today, and they won against Gloucester with an innings to spare, which was very, very exciting. Also, I'll be honest, I had a single can of Malibu and
Did
pineapple.
you?
So if you sent them a little bit on edge
Are you
today,
DUI
a little bit
right
raw.
now?
Yeah.
Oh, the glamour.
I know.
I had a can of Tennent's by the railway with my friends.
And what have you been drinking today, Anne?
Water exclusively.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, excellent. Well, if you can tell any difference between our presentational styles this evening, listeners, please write in and let us know. You can do that by writing to
team@onelifeleft.com.
God, it's hot, isn't it? The only way, in fact, what did we decide to do? Because on the hottest day of the year so far, bring in more men to the studio.
the most men we could
The most men
find.
we've ever had in the studio. We've got one in the corner who's not doing anything, are you? No. Surprise guest. But the actual guest, we're delighted to be joined by Darren Wall and Alex Wiltshire. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
So you're from Read Only Memory, Darren?
I am.
Alex, where do we say you're from these days?
I don't know. I'm from around.
Okay.
I found him in the streets.
But collectively, what are you doing here?
We're here to talk about Britsoft and Oral History, our new book.
Excellent. Good news. But
We're going to talk more about books later in the show,
We
aren't
are
we?
talking
We've
about
got some
books,
actually One Life Left book news, book gossip coming up. Two different fronts. But yeah, let's start the show with Anne's news.
It's 7:04 on Monday the 29th of June. I'm Anne Scantlebury and this is the news. The PC version of Batman Arkham Knight has been taken off shelves with sales suspended after a buggy release. Warner has said that there is significant work to do to fix the game, and despite Rocksteady promising to put its best engineers on it, the fixes will take some time. Warner has said that if players want refunds from Steam or their retailer, they can go for it. If only there was some dude in a cape who had too much money and a love for tech standing on a roof somewhere waiting to fix this.
So what are the problems with the game?
Well, it's interesting. So first of all, you said it's been taken off shelves. PC version in the UK did not come out
On shelves.
physically.
Yeah, but it's taken off
Physically.
some other shelves.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't work. So Rocksteady have said that they're putting their best engineers on it.
But
Why didn't they do that in the first place?
How doesn't it work? That's what I'm interested in.
Well, apparently it was outsourced to a third party. We've seen this before with Aliens Colonial Marines, haven't we? So it wasn't Rocksteady, we understand, the port.
I feel like you're not answering the question here. What's
Well, I don't
wrong
know,
with the
ask
game?
them. It doesn't work.
But I've seen some videos online of Batman falling through the floor
That's-
forever. Is
that-
that basically what happens? They haven't done the floor properly. They need better floor coders. The floor's hard.
Floor's
It's really big.
It's
like
kind of the basics, though, isn't
you
it?
need, the first thing you do. I mean, Simon, you've made games before.
Exactly.
What's the first thing you do in a game?
Draw a square
Yeah,
and then work out how many of those are on the floor.
yeah. That's
It's what you
basically
do.
all comes down to getting the floor right.
Yeah.
And it seems like they
First thing
haven't
you
got the
do.
floor correct.
It's interesting though. So it coincided with Steam's new refund policy. So yeah. So if you were going to do this, now was not the time. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that, Darren and Alex? Have you?
It works on mine.
Does it?
Oh yeah,
Does it on
it's
your
been-
PC?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear that like if you've got a really mega PC, it behaves like you don't have a mega PC, and I think that's like upsetting for a lot of big PC owners.
Have you
I've got a crap PC and it runs okay.
have you noticed any problems with the floor?
None.
Maybe go around just testing out, like as if this is a new property.
Jump
you
up
bought.
and
Just
down?
jump up and down, just stamp the
Find a
floor.
corner.
See, oh yeah, seems solid.
I'll tell you what's most interesting about this story is that it's the first Batman game I've not worked on, so I'm able to talk about it.
Brilliant.
Got any questions?
Well,
What's Batman like to work with?
Really good, actually. I'm a big fan of the Bat, so yeah, no, he's good unless he's the one from Canada.
wait a second. Previously, were you the floor coder?
I got pulled off when I did Bangman.
Apple has gone back on its decision to remove all games displaying the Confederate flag. Initially, Apple removed any app showing the flag, which is considered a symbol of racism by many, following the shooting of several people at an African-American church in South Carolina by a white man. At the time of the shooting, Apple's CEO Tim Cook said, "My thoughts are with the victims' families in SC. Let's honour their lives by eradicating racism and removing the symbols and words they feed." The company is now reinstating apps that use the flag for educational or historical uses.
Okay, that seems like quite a blurry rule. Educational, historical uses.
Well, so their blanket. What was the wording of their sort of blanket? You've gone against our guidelines. Is mean-spirited and offensive uses. So if you're using anything and it looks mean-spirited and offensive, then it's getting taken down. But if it's used to make a game, e.g. a Civil War game,
Okay.
historically accurate, then they're sort of saying,
So back in the day, there was a Dukes of Hazzard's
There was, yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard's video game, wasn't there? And that has the Confederate flag on the car in that.
It's not mean-spirited, though, is it?
Is it not? Would that be allowed? It's sort of irreverent, isn't it? And that doesn't seem to be
It
historic.
did have a reverend in it, didn't it?
Reverend Bossok.
Exactly, something like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wonder whether that would... Because that doesn't seem to be... it's obviously not a very, very serious subject matter. It's
No.
playful. Would that be allowed?
I mean, their
Have to
rules
ask
are
Tim Cook, I
exactly.
suppose,
Their
yeah.
rules do seem a little bit. Well, it seems as though they saw that this was a big issue, and they wanted to do something to say, like, look, we don't stand by the use of this flag.
Sure.
But. So my point would be they should have, it's hard enough to get on the Apple Store.
Is this an opinion?
This is an opinion.
Here we go.
Turns to the other
Opinion.
camera.
It's hard enough to get on the Apple Store as it is, and so they should be reviewing everything that is entered in and is going to turn up on the Apple Store. So they should be able to weed things out that are both mean-spirited and offensive and use the flag and, well, are just horrible anyway. So they shouldn't be in a position now where they're trying to go through and take all this stuff out.
You know, often in the news stories we talk about things like this and we say, oh, well, it's, I guess it's Tim Cook's decision, why don't you get in touch with them? And you say, yes, I will. And then you spend maybe 2/3 of the remaining show tapping an email on, then we never hear anything
No.
again. I mean, is that because the people don't get back to you, or because
People don't respond
Really?
to Ste, yeah.
Do you
They
think-
don't see
Why do you think that is?
they don't see the One Life Left email address as a stamp of authority,
Or they're scared of you?
or they're scared of the truth. Tale of Tales is shutting its studio following poor sales of its latest game, Sunset. The critically acclaimed game sold only 4,000 copies, including those sent to Kickstarter backers, and the couple who made up the studio were disheartened by its reception. They said, "We are happy and proud that we have tried to make a game for gamers. We really did our best with Sunset, our very best, and we failed, so that's one thing we'll never need to do again. Creativity still burns wildly in our hearts, but we don't think we will be making video games after this, and if we do, definitely not commercial ones."
Super sad news.
Really sad, really sad. So, but it's a sign of the market, isn't it? Steam has changed so significantly over the past few months, even that you're just not seeing the sort of breakout successes that were probably around at the time when the Tale of Tales guys started making Sunsets.
It is a little bit like that. I felt really, really bad when I read their statements and how they kept referring to the game as a failure. And I think on many, many levels it's absolutely not a failure. It's done brilliantly critically. It was a failure on one of the categories or one of the targets they set out for themselves, which is make a game for gamers, a game that gamers will buy. But on so many other levels, that game is a success. And I as I've mentioned before on the show, that I've done a little bit of work on it, and I thought it was brilliant. I'm certainly more proud of this than I am of many of the games that you would consider successes that I've worked on.
But some of what they were saying was it's just not financially viable. Like, they ended up putting more money into it themselves to make this game happen, and they've subsisted before with grants and things, and this just took too much money out of them, and they don't have it in them to get it back again.
Yeah, so obviously it was a failure on that axis, but perhaps not on some of the other ones that count. And I hope they do brilliant things in other mediums. I'm sure they will. They're both incredibly talented people.
Do we think this is going to make people think even more or consider it for longer, doing games that are not traditional games, or more narrative-based ones?
I don't think so, not at all. I think there are some brilliant narrative video games coming out, and I think we're going to hear about some more later in the show today as well. I think what it does is illustrate that success, in some terms, is a bit of a lottery. And while this has been, a failure, I still think it could easily have been a success. And that success, and the terrifying thing for any independent developer making a game right now, is you can do all of the right things, and still your number doesn't come up. And there's not a lot any of us can do to control that. If it was, we would all be millionaires, and not just from being brilliant at making flaws.
On the heels of America's marriage equality laws being passed, Nintendo is bringing same-sex marriage to its first game. Fire Emblem Fates will allow the main character created by the player to marry a man in one version of the game and a woman in the other. Nintendo said of the decision, "We believe that our gameplay experiences should reflect the diversity of our communities in which we operate, and at the same time we will always design the game specifications of each title by considering a variety of factors such as the game's scenario and the nature of the gameplay. In the end, of course, the game should be fun to play."
It's a long old story, wasn't it? So what, you can marry a man in one and a lady in another, two separate versions of the game?
They're releasing two versions of the game.
Nintendo, isn't it? Pokemon X and Y and Pokemon X and X.
But there's also a third part that if you've bought either of these games, you can download the third part of the story as well.
Who do you marry in that?
Exactly.
Everyone.
That sounds exhausting.
No, the third part of the story is where you get messily divorced, and it's still fun to play.
Right.
Well, good for them. Good for them. I mean, they got in a lot of trouble when they said it would be much too hard work to make characters in, what was that Nintendo?
Tomodachi Life?
Tomodachi Life marry the same gender characters. Now they've sort of...
They've changed their tune.
It turns out it's easier to not restrict the marriage. Just found that they've got the right coder. One of their very best coders.
Maybe they didn't think that it was fun to play before. Maybe they thought it's only fun if it's a boy and a girl.
Well, presumably, if you were stopping a character from kissing another character, that you were putting a check in place to find out what gender that character was in the first place.
That sounds exhausting.
Just put an exclamation mark in front of that, whatever. It's used an array.
Use an array.
Can kiss equals yes.
Yeah, simple.
Can kiss, yeah.
Just call us if you need more advice. Thanks.
There was something in the last version of Fire Emblem where you could talk to a creepy man and you could matchmake. You could give it two different characters, didn't matter what gender they were, and he would tell you how they were matched up. And so, that was quite...
How did you find that out?
I mean, I'm always up for talking to creepy men.
And finally, a fan of Fallout 3 has successfully pre-ordered Fallout 4 by sending over 2,000 bottle caps to publisher Bethesda. The bottle caps, which are used as in-game currency, were sent by a guy named Seth, who started collecting them after playing Fallout 3. Bethesda has honoured his audacious trade-in, but was pretty clear to point out that he's only getting a copy of the game because he was the first to do it. Game developers and publishers everywhere are sending out a plea to please not send your trash to their offices.
Was this a thing then? Did they say that someone could do it, or did he just say, "Hey, I've
He just did it. He was a bit of a prankster.
So how much is a bottle cap worth in game?
Don't know.
Well, presumably, like if a game costs £50 and he sent 2,000 in,
Yeah.
so you do the maths.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going
hang on,
to.
hang on.
That's not you doing the maths.
No,
is it?
I'm
That's
doing. I'm
Tim
getting a
Cook doing the maths.
calculator.
Ask
Ask Siri, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And how did he send them in?
What's it?
How much
Oh,
is a bottle
I'm not
cap
connected
worth?
to the internet.
Okay.
So.
How did he send them in?
In a box, and he said, "You don't want to know how much the packaging costs for this."
Was it more than
The
£50?
Yeah, I imagine so.
Okay.
Also, it's in America. What's their?
That's loads of packaging, isn't
It's
it?
loads.
Yeah.
So much.
Right, well, good for him. What other real-life currencies could you use to buy video games?
What do they use in Animal Crossing?
Bells.
Yeah.
Don't try and catch us out. Ask another.
Go on, pick a game, man.
What do they use in...
Coins.
Coins,
Good,
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
next. Go on,
Credits.
go on.
Bang,
Power
bang.
pellets. Thanks, Anne.
One Life Left video game news with Anne Scantleberry.
Listening to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. This is a video game radio show, and this is Jakim from chipmusic.org. You can download this and many other brilliant pieces of chip music at that website. What do you think, Simon?
Buddy summary.
Trying to go for a summery feel, trying to go for a sort of relaxing by the cricket with a Malibu and pineapple feel. I find that's One Life Left's tone through and through.
Would you be safe to drive a car now?
Right now,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, no, I wouldn't, because I haven't passed my licence. So that would be completely illegal, and I don't know how to drive.
Right.
But in a video game, for sure.
Okay, good news. You're looking very summary today, Anne.
Thanks. Do you want to know the real reason for that?
It wasn't a question.
Right, but you can't just come up with a statement like that and not expect...
What?
You not expect the truth.
Far away then.
The leggings I was going to wear today, not dry. So I just had to wear a dress without any leggings, just my sandals. That's why I look so summery.
Okay, interesting. Why are they still wet?
Because I washed them.
Alex, Darren, you look lovely today as well.
Thank you very
course,
much.
we're not. We
Our leggings are dry.
two versions of this radio show. You can compliment a man and you can compliment
Yes.
a lady.
Yes.
Good to you.
And in the third version, you talk to a creepy man.
Who's in the corner? How's it going over there?
Creepy man.
You're all looking at me.
So, Darren, Alex, have you two worked together before?
No.
Tell us what you're up to now, then.
Yeah, so I run Read Only Memory, a video game history publisher, and a few years ago now I started speaking to the creators of the documentary film Bedrooms to Billions, which came out last year, and they'd interviewed hundreds of characters from the early British games industry, and we were talking about the fact that they had hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of this footage, hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of transcribed material, and they had a 2.5-hour documentary film, and kind of what could they do with it. And I proposed the idea that we could collect it all together into a collection of interviews, and work with an editor to kind of tell a different story, to kind of like plough a different path through the story of the British games industry from sort of late 70s up until the advent of the Japanese consoles. And I chose to work with Alex, and that's what we've been working on for the past sort of 6-8 months now. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of words.
Yes.
A lot of good words.
125,000 words.
Did
That
Darren
demo
need
is
to
good.
convince you to get on board with this, Alex?
Oh, here it
No.
comes. Okay, good.
No, he didn't, because he makes nice books.
He does make nice books, doesn't he?
Yeah, they
So-
got nice pick colours.
Yeah.
Nice pictures.
Mhm.
Right,
All
and
the
you-
pages.
All the pages, the crucial part of the book. And I wondered why you hadn't kickstarted this. So presumably-
This is the first self-funded Read Only Memory book.
Is that because you've made your millions?
We've made our millions, yeah.
From bedrooms to billions.
From bedrooms to Malibu and pineapple
Right,
by
yeah.
the pool, yeah. So this is the first self-funded one.
Okay.
We recently kickstarted the Bitmap Brothers Universe
Yep.
book. So we're kind of self-funding some and kickstarting others
Okay.
to try and get
Is there
maybe
any-
more than one out a year.
And that's the reason for it, is it?
Yeah, I mean, we could keep kickstarting, but I think with self-funded stuff and kickstarting, we can self-fund projects which are slightly more unusual and kind of do them in a way that might be difficult to describe in a kind of crowdfunding situation. And then we can do kind of more, I suppose, expected books on sort of a specific subject. So
Right.
I felt that this book was quite unusual, and we kind of wanted to sort of tinker away on it in secret and be quite experimental, and then kind of come out with it and go, look at this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Alex, who does it start with? Where does it start?
Well, you got to start with Molyneux.
Do you? And end.
And though it said,
Yeah. Does
So
it
it
start
does.
with Molyneux?
It starts with Molyneux on Guildford High Street.
Drinking Malibu and pineapple, shouting at buses. Okay, so it starts them on Guildford High Street. At what period in Peter's life is this?
we've we wanted to. So the interviews are from the 80s onwards. But I really the story really starts with Mel Croucher.
Yeah.
Who was sort of broadcasting games in Portsmouth, like in the late 70s. But I've sort of we kind of chopped up these interviews into little pieces, and so you get this kind of sort of a narrative that starts with a lot of the creators' kind of first kind of experiences with games, the first time they saw a game. So like to Molyneux, he's looking in through a shop window at Binatone Pong and going, "I've got to have that." And he explains that he has that, and he says it's terrible.
Yes.
he also explains that he steals the money from his grandma's purse to buy it as
He
well.
did, yeah.
Is that
Sneaky
true?
Molyneux, yeah.
And this is all the stuff that isn't. Actually, I've not seen From Bedrooms to Billions. Is it stuff that's not in there?
So we cross over a lot with
Okay.
the content that's in the Bedrooms to Billions, but we tell a more personal story. So in the book, we've got more time to kind of dwell on anecdotes and kind of go off on tangents and kind of investigate kind of smaller stuff than the kind of big thrust of the video games industry. So we tell a different story with this kind of
The same
vast
thing.
archive
Because in
of
a book,
material.
you've got many more words worth
Right.
of material you can go through. We had transcripts of every single interview they did for the entire thing, and that is hundreds of hours, hundreds of thousands of words.
Is it difficult unpicking that?
It was really tough, actually.
Who did you skip over?
Who did? I can't think.
No. Okay, that's the correct answer. So you were given to it as a text file, were you?
Yeah, lots of
Right.
text files, like
Okay.
hundreds of words, like all transcribed, and I just had to read, and I kind of picked out themes, like sort of. So you got these sort of. So a lot of people talked about how their first experiences of programming were like. Writing listings out,
Yeah,
writing
the
out
magazines.
programs and then
Yeah.
selling them to magazines, or getting them from listings in magazines and typing them out and all going wrong, and then their first sort of forays into making money and approaching sort of publishers and small companies that were kind of flourishing around the country, and so finding these themes and then finding the most interesting stories of these and then slowly kind of piecing it together like a puzzle. It was really tough. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done, I think, like just sort of trying to find through lines in it and make sure it's all interesting, but like it started to sort of find its own momentum by the end. It was a really interesting project.
What do you think it is about the British game scene that makes it so special? There's a warrants a book and a film and so much continued discussion.
We were talking about this earlier, actually, and about the idea of the Britsoft movement and the fact that it started from just an innocent want to take these tools that just suddenly appeared in everyone's front rooms and bedrooms with an instruction book with it and just experiment and create something. That it wasn't initially driven by a commercial need. That kind of came afterwards and perhaps was kind of some of its undoing. But it was just this urge to create, and it wasn't kind of driven by the want to emulate an art form because it was a new art form. So I think there's something kind of peculiarly British about that kind of tinkering in a room and sort of being a solo creator. And I think that's all those kind of eccentric characters in the book. Like we've worked with Jon Hare before, but we talk about Mel Croucher, and all these kind of really individual characters. I think that, and Jeff Minter as well, who's a key character in the book. I think it's about the personalities coming through this art form, and it's just born out of innocence. And I think what the book is interesting is because suits come in, money comes in, and it turns into an industry a couple of years afterwards. But it didn't start off with the intention of creating an industry, and I think that's what's interesting about it.
So what went wrong?
Yes.
Was it the suits?
The last section, which Alex is entitled Maturing Industry, kind of like charts that's what went wrong and kind of who survived and who didn't and who adapted and who didn't. And actually the Stampers come up quite a lot as characters who kind of foresaw what was shifting and what was changing, and sort of seeing that the Japanese consoles were coming in and they needed to adapt, and they could see what was happening in America with this kind of like big emerging industry. And actually we're working on the Bitmap Brothers book at the moment as well, and there's echoes of the Sensible Software as well, kind of basically either deciding to jump into PC, to jump to console, or just to hang on to what you had before and get kind of carried along with it. And I think it was basically either you moved and adapted, or the industry just kind of like
But no one did move and adapt, did they? Or did they? The Stampers was quiet.
Yeah, they went to Japan, and
Right.
well, they'd stayed in the UK, but they actually looked outside. Like the UK was really the scene was really insular. Like it looked within. Like people wanted to do what they wanted to do and wanted to continue what they found was successful in the early to mid '80s, and then by the time the Super Nintendo, the NES came along, particularly. They all saw this console as being backwards technology, and it was going to be rubbish.
Right.
And they didn't realise what it was about to kind of bring to the country.
Do you think we'll see a return to Britsoft if you can still call it that? You'd still call it that?
I think there's an ethos which is like bedded into most kind of British sort of indie game developers. Like if you follow like Mode 7 and people like that on Twitter, I think there's that kind of that ethos and that kind of spirit is still there, but I think it has to be something different now. I think it's
people have to think
commerce.
Internationally now. You kind of naturally put a game out now. Whether you're looking on iOS or Steam or whatever, or you're talking to Sony or whatever, you've got to think internationally, and I think that's the difference now. That's why I don't think you will see a Britsoft again. You'll see software continuing to be being made here, but yeah, it's a totally different world now.
I wonder whether it's also influenced by us as gentlemen and ladies of a certain age, framing our childhood around a type of culture, and whether actually people, kids growing up now, for them, their Jeff Minter is Dan Marshall or Mike Bithell or whoever else.
Well,
and they see well, also true, but I mean in terms of Britsoft, right? They see groups of people, and actually they're able to interact with them, and their personalities are able to come out in a different way, and they're probably going to be writing books about the second wave of Britsoft, which we just don't recognise right now, because we're too old.
Super old.
Yeah, this is history. Yeah.
So, I final question, Alex. Looking back through these transcripts, then, what was the one thing that surprised you most, or the thing that you didn't, that you discovered for the first time? Was there any story or tale of the industry as it used to be?
It was like quite innocent time. Like it seems like we're talking to the winners, sort of mean like these are the famous people, the people that found the most success at the time. So obviously these are stories by the winners, but like they express like quite an innocence about the time, about kind of fumbling around with this stuff, and about how when business kind of reared its head with them, they kind of failed in a lot of the times to kind of take advantage of what was kind of offered to them. In terms of a story that illustrates that, oh God, there are so many. Can you think of anything?
We were talking about Jez San earlier on.
Oh, yeah,
I like that one a lot.
Yeah,
so I was talking about Jez San reverse engineering Game Boy technology, turning up to Nintendo trade show and just basically saying, I can do 3D on the Game Boy, and then basically being ushered into Nintendo saying, you must teach us how to do 3D on Nintendo consoles, and basically plucking numbers out of the air saying, I'll do it for $1 million, no, 2 million, and then the same day having 2 million put in his account, and his brother calling him out going, are you expecting 2 million put in your account today? And it's just these kind of like ballsy moves.
Wow.
I think Jeff Brown from US Gold was the same thing. It's just kind of like ploughing in and saying, I can do this, I'll think about how it works later on.
Fantastic. So you're still in the process of pulling the book together. When can we expect to see it?
It's going to be out on August 27th. We're just proofreading at the moment. It's all finished. So 420 pages full of illustrations, and we've got a hardware dictionary at the back, basically showing all the hardware in the book, which is being illustrated at the moment.
Cool. So where would we pre-order it?
You can pre-order it at readonlymemory.vg.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sega Badawi, and welcome to One Life Left, Local news. A local hedgehog sanctuary is making an appeal for more funds after a change in its tax situation. Mrs. Triggerwinkle's Home for Hedgehogs needs the money to pay its taxes, and also as more hedgehogs have needed their help than usual. The problem is that the hedgehogs are running low on red sneakers and can't move away from predators as quickly as possible. In addition, most people have been selling their gold rings for cash, and the lack of availability means that they can't protect themselves as much. Apparently, if you see a hedgehog in your garden, then you should provide it with a bowl of water, some leaves to sleep under, and a Mobius strip for them to run along. Also, keep them away from games designers trying to give them a funky new attitude. Thanks, and back to your usual programming.
One Life Letters.
Thank you so much for your letters. It turns out the what we need to do to avoid having to beg for letters every week is just not do a show for 2 weeks. So we're not going to get through all of them. And even we had quite a few in today without even asking. We were quite
thanks, guys.
indifferent on Twitter.
Do you think people were like, we should have listened?
Exactly.
They've left us now.
We had an unexplained absence. So I've got two. I'm going to crack on with the first one. Bob Malley writes, hi, 3 questions. Feel free to ignore any stroke all of them. 1, will you be attending Minecon this weekend? And if so, will there be any Marioke?
I will not be attending Minecon.
I will not be attending Minecon.
I'm hoping to swing by.
We'll be there.
Will you?
Yes, we both will.
I might swing by with you.
Excellent.
Can I bring my
We can do
son?
private Marioke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you going to be dressed as a creeper again?
Again. Literally in your dreams. He says, my son and I will be attending our first con this weekend. Any tips? Any tips from the Read Only Memory boys?
Probably sort of maybe bring some spray deodorant. I hear it gets quite hot.
Finally, if he was to bump into Phil Fish, how hard should he push him over? Or should he leave that to
Very,
me?
very gently.
Very
Phil Fish is a
gently.
very, very good friend of the show, although obviously we made friends when he was horizontal, having been pushed over.
Thank you for your email, Bob. Enjoy Minecon.
Okay, hello team and super special guests. Now E3 is done and certain games have been hyped up to the degree which is unrealistic. Which do you think will be the best game that was announced? Writes Lawrence Weir. In my opinion, this will be a summary of reviews of a few of the games that were announced. So we're going to see into the future.
They're like pre-reviews.
Pre-reviews. Could think of a name for that. Okay, here we go. The Last Guardian. Quirky puzzle game. Too short. Disappointing. 7 out of 10.
Good.
Final Fantasy VII finally comes out in 2022. The original was better. 7 out of 10. Shenmue 3. Pretty much the worst game anyone has ever played on any platform. 7 out of 10. Halo 5. About as good as Halo 4. Multiplayer doesn't work. 7 out of 10. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Crap British accents. Offensive to all Londoners. 7 out of 10. And finally, Fallout 4. Everyone loves it, although no one uses the crafting system. 7 out of 10. Hope you had a nice break. Love the show. Lawrence, thank you, Lawrence.
Thanks, Lawrence.
That's really useful.
Yeah.
We'll file that,
Bring
use
those
that
back
in the future.
Hello, team. Possibly a super special guest who might be Taylor Swift if Steve's plan to kidnap her works correctly.
Didn't.
Oh, well. I don't know if you've heard, but the WWE have recently decided to move on from sports entertainment to the world of YouTube gaming. Xavier Woods is now hosting a daily show called Up, Up, Down, Down. The gauntlet appears to have been thrown down to Team OLL, and I believe that you should fight fire with fire by invading the WWE. Simon would obviously be Byronic Man.
Yep, of course.
A half-human, half-robot wrestling cyborg similar to when RoboCop was in WWE.
Okay.
Scanters would become the News Fox, leaping around the ring, causing confusion to opponents. She would also walk out with a real-life tiger, like when Coco Beware came out with Frankie the Parrot,
You do have a cat.
who looks like a tiger. Ste.
Yep.
Well, Ste could be the cricketer, which means that he could come out fully padded up so his enemies' blows would not cause him any harm. Then he could strike back with his special moves, moves the dill scoop and the flipper.
Very good. Those are cricket
Okay,
shots.
great, thanks.
Okay.
I don't even... I look forward to seeing you on Raw or SmackDown next week.
Sounds
Cheerio,
excellent.
Ben.
Okay,
See you
thanks,
then.
Ben.
Great.
Alex.
This is from Chris Stewart. Dear team in SSG, I spend the weekend attending an event called ESL1 in Frankfurt, Germany. It's an esports tournament where people play a game called Dota 2 to try and win a big shiny cup. The atmosphere was brilliant, the games were amazing, and the crowd was just absolutely amazing. I think it's a shame that so many people online in gaming circles are toxic, and it restored some of my faith in the fact that there are loads of good people out there in it purely because they love the games they play. Anyway, I remember that Anne was supposed to be learning how to be a professional gamer. So I've got some tips.
Oh, good.
One, Red Bull. You need to drink a lot.
Okay, I'll get on it after this.
You need a pro gamer, #pro gamer name. Chris suggests Scan TZ, pronounced Scan TZ.
Scan TV. Okay.
Scan TZ.
And because we've seen her amazing commitment to this cause, she needs to learn how to lift a big trophy. So she needs to train at least one arm to be strong.
Just one.
Obviously, success never comes into question. Winning is easy for Scans TZ. Thanks as always, and keep up the good work. Chris Stewart.
Good.
Good.
It's true.
Good.
We did. You were meant to be becoming a pro gamer. Who was
Yeah.
it? Wasn't Pip?
Pip was going to be my agent. Yeah.
Interesting.
She
Okay.
knows the game.
She does know the game.
She's not brought a lot of business your way, has she?
No, she hasn't really motivated me either, to be honest.
Okay, well, let's see if she hears this, because one assumes, as your agent,
She'll
she'll be
get in touch.
listening and she'll be in touch.
Darren.
This is from Royal Shah. Hello, One Life Left and super special guests. One of the games shown at E3 which looks utterly brilliant is Cuphead, with its look harking back to cartoons from the 1930s. Unfortunately, it turns out it's a really difficult game of boss battles, which I don't think is something I'd enjoy. Sad face. Are there any games which have a visual style you're really into, but the actual game part of it keeps you away? Thanks for such a lovely show, Roll.
I really, really want to be into Dark Souls and similar games, but I hate boss battles. I have no interest in fighting the same enemy again and again and again, so it's a similar problem. With Cuphead, yeah, I also looked at Cuphead and thought, that's gorgeous. I will never play it.
Yeah, no, I feel the same like that. I just, I think people are pretending to enjoy them, aren't they? Surely.
Do we have one final letter?
We do have one final letter. I was going to cover this in the review section, but Edgar and Bryce say, hey guys and SS guests, we are enjoying GTA Online, but joining the heist is a pain. Is it just like that, or am I being dense, or do we just need friends? We have a clan. Is there an LL clan? I'm up for this from now onwards. We'll maybe cover this in the review section, but I'm
Okay.
And let's rob some banks.
Okay, good. If you want to get in touch with One Life Left, and please do, don't wait for us to ask you to. Email.
Team at onelifeleft.com.
Do we have a prize this month that we can...
Yes.
We haven't.
Yes.
I'm sure we do. Who is our best
admin.
letter?
We haven't sent out some of our previous prizes.
We haven't.
It
Just
feels-
email us to remind us.
Yeah.
We've got a copy of Tabletop Simulator on Steam to give away this
What?
week. Yes, Darren and Alex, who do you think is most worthy of a copy of Tabletop Simulator on Steam? Darren's letter, who's that?
I think Raoul, perhaps.
Raoul,
Yeah.
if you email us and
more sad
remind
face.
me, I will send it to you. Thank you very much.
This is the brilliant Motion Ride again from chipmusic.org. I was just thinking about Jez San.
What were you thinking about Jez San?
I was thinking, obviously we heard a story earlier about how brave he was and how he got 2 million paid into his bank account and stuff. I was thinking the last time I saw Jez San was at a party,
Yep.
and he was doing coin
Yep.
tricks.
Yep.
Do you remember this?
I do. Then we went through a period of bumping into Jez San, and he would teach us magic because he taught. He taught me and David McCarthy a card trick in Nice one year, and he taught us the coin trick where you put a pound in your hand as well. Yeah.
And the last time I saw him, he was showing that off to my girlfriend. He was saying which hand has the coin in, and she picked one, and it wasn't that one. Right. So then he did it again. He guessed which coin, was in her hand. And the second time he got it right, and the crowd went wild, cheered. And I thought, but that's 50%. That's
just maths.
But apparently maths is magic. So.
Maths update.
Okay.
Apparently a bottle top would cost 2.5 pence.
Excellent. Okay. So what does that mean? The total is for a pre-order?
We were going on it being £50.
Right. Sorry.
I used to admire Jez San and his penchant for magic tricks and stuff until I actually considered what it must be like to be Jez San. Because every time we used to sort of every time we used to bump into him, he'd have a sort of different trick. And I was like, oh, that's amazing! You've produced a bunch of flowers and stuff like that. Until I thought back to the start of Jez San's day, which is like getting up, he wakes up in his pajamas. He's like, might bump into Ste and Simon's day. I know, I'll shove some trousers in my socks and then pull a trousers and then wear them all day, hoping that he'd bump into us and then he'd have to. And I thought that's quite sad. He's got 2 million though.
Maybe it's not just him who does that. Maybe everybody has a magic trick prime just in case they meet us.
Bunch of flowers.
Sorry. Right. Okay. Serious business. So, it's been a big week for our friends, I think, hasn't it?
Well done, our friends.
Friends of One Life Left. We've and not just you guys in terms of books, but our friend Cara.
Yes. Well done, Cara.
Well done, Cara
that
Ellison.
Cover looks amazing,
doesn't it? You can pre-order it now.
Don't just pre-order it for the cover.
No, I mean the cover looks amazing. I'm sure the inside is good, but I haven't seen the inside yet.
So it's the collected works of her In Bed with Games series, which I think is going to be an excellent keepsake on her wild year. Genuinely, after I saw a post about it on social networks yesterday, I was out and about and I was going to pre-order it. $6.
That seems very reasonable.
You support your friends.
You should.
All of that sort of thing. I couldn't remember my PayPal password on my mobile out and about. And then, lo and behold, today, it's not Batman. I had to change it because they got the hack, didn't they? Lo and behold, today, she sends us a copy, didn't she?
So nice.
Just came through without asking. And it started with... Dear Friends.
Which was a nice thing to read, wasn't it?
Dear Friends. I've got a book coming out. I thought you might like to see it.
Because what do you do with your friends? You share your successes. You share. Exactly. You ask for their opinions. Maybe for the cover.
Exactly. And Cara, I'm still gonna buy it when I'm at my computer and stuff like that. And actually, I'm particularly interested in whether she gets into a coffee table book, which she's like doing it. Well done.
Well done, Cara. So, I mean, that's one of our friends.
That's great.
Yeah, another of our friends is it's the New Yorker's Simon Parkinson. You might know Simon. He's been a friend of ours for a very long time. We actually gave him what used to be his nickname, Parko. Yeah. Did do that.
You shortened his surname Parkinson.
A gift from One Life Left
to him,
to you. Yeah. A nickname unrequested that the world will call you. And we're fine with that, and he's fine with that too. We've been very good friends with him for a very long time. We've got loads of photos of him. Photos the world would love to see, but we keep to ourselves.
Close to our hearts.
Close to our heart. Don't need to send.
Tattooed on our hearts.
Don't need to sell them to the Daily Mail.
What goes on between friends stays between friends.
But there are other things that are nice to share with friends. For example, your books.
For example, your books.
Just your book. If you've written plural, that's great. But if you've just written one,
we have, by the way.
So imagine my surprise the other day when a mutual friend of ours and Parkinson came round to my house.
Oh yeah,
yeah, clutching a tome under his arm. I thought, that looks interesting. Very good design on the cover.
Yeah,
striking.
Yeah,
and I thought, but it's called what's it called?
Wait, do you want to know what it's actually called?
Yeah,
it's called Death by Video Games.
Death by computer games.
That's what we've called it.
Death by computer games. And I saw that on the cover of this book and I thought, oh my goodness, Parkinson's going to be furious. Someone else has stolen his book title.
Right.
I should get... And then I saw it's by him. Turns out Parkinson had sent it out to his friends already.
What? Why?
But
Well,
no, Steve, that's surely you're misusing the word friends there.
That's true, because he'd sent it out with a purpose. He'd sent it out to people he respects. Just people he respects, so that he could get quotes for the cover and the back.
Well, I've got a couple of quotes for this cover.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think we've slightly gone over our swear quotient, but
Today.
cut some of those words out and stick those on your cover, Parkinson.
Can you believe it?
No.
All the support we've offered from the very start.
Well, we won't be buying that.
We won't.
Although I am in the
But the
acknowledgement,
irony is, we actually have to.
What, in order
We have to buy that one. We don't have to buy Cara's, but in order to read Parkinson's book, which I'm sure is very good, not that we'd know.
Scumbag. Do you guys need any quotes for your books?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's right. We'll be happy to provide them.
Happy. Just let us know what you want us to say. We'll put it there. 7 out of 10. Simple. Okay, so more positive news. One of One Life Left's feature's been missing for quite a while.
Oh, no.
But this arrived in the One Life Left inbox this morning.
Ste and Simon, super special guest. It's Game Under here. I know it's been over a month, but I've been in deep cover. You've got to help me. I'm in over my head. I'm starting to think that there might be such a thing as too much ethics. I got a lead that was too big to turn down, so I sold all my stuff and flew out to California. I bought a new, much more discreet microphone and everything. Thought I'd reveal some corruption or something, but what I've uncovered is actually going to blow the lid off the games industry. I know I say that every week, but I mean it this time. And then I got discovered. I'm in big trouble. I don't know how much time I have left before they find me. I've sent you a package with all of my tapes. It should be with you by next week's show. Please get the message out there. Help me, One Life Left. You're my only hope. I think I can hear them coming. I've got to...
One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. That was Game Under. He will be back next week, as will we, for the next 4 weeks. We've got break in August, haven't we?
Got August off, haven't we?
What?
Yeah, did you not?
No.
Did you not get the memo?
No.
You actually didn't get the memo?
No,
We've
and
got
as
August
HR,
off.
I should be
got
CC'd on
August
this.
You should do. That was Sudstep, and this is our reviews. Anne, what have you been playing this week?
Now.
Right, so I don't even know if I can say what I've been playing without it being a spoiler.
I can leave the studio because I don't want to know about this.
I really don't want to know about it either. So
Okay,
we both
well,
have to
here's-
leave the studio, and I don't know whether anyone else. I don't think that's legal.
It's not legal.
In which case, here's my review. I've been playing Her Story. 7 out of 10.
Okay, well we're hoping to have Sam Barlow on the show next week.
Really?
So and I bought it. I just don't have a PC to play it on at the moment.
And we all
my
have to
phone.
play it.
Well,
like,
no, I
for
thought we
next-
should. Yeah, you've got an
Yeah.
you can play it on iPads.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
yeah.
we'll all play it for next week.
And we'll review it in front of him. It'll be uncomfortable, won't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
So it was good then, Anne, was it?
7 out of 10.
Oh, wow, excited.
Okay. Simon.
Yeah, I've been really struggling with video games this week because I spent a long time playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I finished it. First console version of GTA I finished. Loved it.
You just had so many weird stories from
Oh,
it.
it's just brilliant. So even sat through the credits, which went on about 10 minutes. And so after that, that's part of my mainstream game, like my AAAs. I thought I'd catch up on the AAAs that I've not played. So I loaded up Wolfenstein: The New Order, which I understand to be a very good video game from the critical praise that it's received. I was like, well, this isn't GTA 5, is it? So I was like, this is rubbish. Shadows of Mordor. Started playing that. It just threw too much at me at the start.
It's a bit big.
And it's like, everybody's raved about this. Oh, it's not GTA 5, is it? I'm worried I can't play any AAA video games again.
Well, then maybe you should play some more indies.
Stick with indies. Yeah.
Play Her Story.
I'm going to next. Yeah. Good. Anyway, GTA 5's worth. I'm going to go back and do. Going to 100% it. Might do. Going to do the assassinations and the strangers and freaks. Are they going to do DLC for it?
Yeah, I think so.
Are they good?
Plenty of it as well, I think.
Good.
I know no more than that.
I'm in. 7 out of 10.
I've been playing Super Exploding Zoo on PS4.
That sounds disgusting.
Okay, well, it's not. It's really, really cute and really, really sad.
It sounds as though you're exploding up animals.
You
poor
are.
Endangered animals.
You are. You move flocks of tiny, tiny animals around, and the idea is to get at least one of them to the exit to stop the eggs from being destroyed, I think, by bigger monsters. You basically have to attack the bigger monsters with the cute animals, and they kind of explode.
That sounds like a video game.
Yeah, it is very, very much a puzzle video game in cute dressing, and really, 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 really cute dressing. And it's so beautifully, beautifully put together, and the sound is like adorable. The way it looks is adorable. The puzzle mechanic, it's great. It's started to get a little bit too difficult for me at this point, and I don't like difficult games, so I'm probably done with it at about 70% of the way through. But I've really, really enjoyed it, and I think that everyone who has a PSN subscription should be enjoying it too, because it's free on PSN this month. Although someone shouted at me for calling it free.
Yeah, Louis P.
He
hates that sort of term.
That's like,
not free!
It's not free, you're paying for it!
£40 a year.
You've been fooled, you've been tricked!
Exactly.
Do you know my PSN subscription has just lapsed?
Really?
Yeah, I changed my card number and didn't tell them.
Well, you should unlapse it, in my view, just for this game. And all the other games you get for free! Free! 7 out of 10.
Happy birthday, PlayStation Plus, by the way. 5 years today.
Really?
Is it?
They're sending everybody who's been a member continuously for 5 years a printed out work of art with all of your achievements on it.
Right, mine has just lapsed.
Exactly.
Mine has just lapsed.
Yeah, but you haven't been a member for 5 years.
I might have been. I don't know.
Had it not lapsed before, it lapsed right at the start, didn't it? You've been a member for a year, I guess, then.
No, I've been a member, it would auto-renew every year, but because I've changed my card details changed, so it just...
What are your
story.
new card details?
Yeah.
We'll put them in.
Batman.
Okay.
Darren, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Box Boy on the 3DS.
I nearly downloaded that yesterday. I nearly downloaded it.
Kept doing it,
right.
and then I was playing Monster Hunter, not going very far with it, and then just downloaded that and been lost in that. It's by HAL Laboratory of Kirby fame, and it's just a wonderfully designed platform puzzler. It kind of deliberately looks quite sort of basic, kind of looks like a Flash game from 2004. And yeah, it's just wonderful. Really great pacing, really great design, and also seems to obstinately not use 3D at any point in the entire game, which I quite like as well. So 7 out of 10.
Tell us a bit about the mechanics then.
Oh, so you are a box, which is obviously where the all game design begins, as we discussed earlier on.
Yep.
And you can create other boxes as well. Why mess with the winning formula? To kind of bridge gaps and move up different platforms. So you're basically like a Tetris block spawning block that can jump around. And there's kind of lots of different kind of mechanics which build on top of that, but that's essentially the core of it. And it's just beautiful. It's got that wonderful kind of Nintendo overseen sort of pacing to it, where everything builds up. You learn to play it without very much kind of an instruction, and you always feel like you're discovering things, even though it's kind of like perfectly designed to make you think that.
I'm in.
Yes,
I'm in.
do it.
If I wasn't playing Her Story, I'd be playing that.
It's not the same as Her Story,
You
but
sure?
yes, yeah.
Alex,
Been playing Witcher 3.
have you?
I love those
You and
places.
everyone else, it seems.
Oh, it's lovely.
The Witcher 3 has been blamed for, in part, but by some people, as part of Steam's problems.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah, because everyone's playing it and they're not buying
No
anything.
one's buying anything
Yeah.
else. It's quite big. It's kind of
That
daunting.
and GTA 5. Apparently, if they're not playing either of them, they're watching videos on them.
I think everyone's just looking at all the lovely peasant-y faces.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. They're
Right.
lovely, lovely noses and
Is the
cheeks.
Witcher the sexy one?
The sexy one, yeah.
Yeah.
How
You've
sexy
written a
is
song
it?
about
I
that.
have, yes.
I
I've written Venus.
last night there was a lady in a bath and my wife
We've all
came
got to
in
take baths.
and she wasn't best pleased. And I tried to explain that she had quite a strong character, but wasn't enough.
Two strong characters.
Simon.
What? No, Alex and the lady.
Okay,
What?
good.
I'm just saying that neither gender is stronger than the other. Anne. What's the matter?
Anyway, Alex. So how was the game?
It's good.
Men can be strong characters as well, you know.
How many strong characters can they be?
As long as the game is fun.
Exactly. Is it good? I've never played. I tried playing Witcher 2, but I got a bit bogged down in the start of that.
I did as well.
Okay.
This is a bit. It feels more free and open, and
Right.
you can muck about, and you can wander in any direction. I just love how natural it feels. In Skyrim, it feels like a video game place. You get a village, and you know that it's a village there, and something will happen there, and it's all very planned. In this, it feels really naturalistic. Like things look a bit crap quite often, because it's just a scrubby landscape, just like you get in the real world. And I really like that about it. And when you see something interesting, you feel that you've rediscovered it. It's good. Really enjoying it.
And have you seen any body parts?
Lots.
Have
I've
you?
made some body parts.
Okay,
and
because it has the sexy.
it does.
And have you seen some sexy things?
I haven't done any sexies.
Well, of course,
But-
of course, you're happily married.
But I have seen
That's the sort of character that you're playing, is it? Someone who doesn't get involved but watches.
just quietly from the corner.
The weird old man in the corner. Good, they say role play should be all about your fantasies, but it's good to see that you've got one fantasy that's common.
As a married man.
Exactly. When you play sensible soccer, do you just stand in the corner? I do.
I watch the ball bouncing back and forth.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks, guys. If you have any reviews for us, why not email them to...
team@onelifeleft.com.
We won't do them because that's not how the review section works, but we'll be interested. And, it's just nice to hear from you once in a while. That is UFO from chipmusic.org. We are One Life Left, and this is Resonance 104.4 FM. We're a video game radio show, and we're nearly done.
It's been a good show. Thank you so much for coming on, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
What do you think is going to be next for you?
So Bitmap Brothers Universe for Christmas, which
Okay.
is what I'm working on at the moment. And then there's possibly me and Alex might collaborate on something. Can't possibly say what yet.
Okay, should we check? Well, Alex, are you in for this or not?
Yeah.
You are in.
Can I reveal what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a book about Simon Parker. And
Parko, the untold story.
If you need any interviews
Or
or
photos.
pictures,
Yeah, pictures basically.
It's all
a picture
pictures.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got
Yeah.
those.
Pop-up
Excellent.
picture
Well,
book.
best of luck with both of those.
Thank you very much.
August, you say? For the,
August for Britsoft, and then
Britsoft.
December for Bitmap Brothers.
Excellent. And you're credited, Anne, in Parko's. What are you
just
credited?
acknowledged.
Oh, acknowledged.
Yeah.
Are you? What? How?
It's just like a
subtly?
raised eyebrow.
Exactly.
Just like, and
You are thanked in both of our books as well that
yes.
we published so far.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Legacy.
100% hit rate.
Fantastic.
We've got August off, so we better make the most of these next few
Yeah.
shows. We're not going to be around in your lives much, maybe, over the next few months, because we're not sure whether we're doing Marioke either next month.
Crikey.
But we do
This
have
is
some,
not the end of it.
we do have some big Marioke news incoming at some point, so
If only
maybe
we had
that's
the time for it.
teaser.
We've been filling for too long, haven't we?
Yes,
Wow.
we have. But it's good to be back, though, isn't it? So,
Yes.
Yeah.
we have missed you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't do shows for the last 2 weeks. We'll try to be better over the next few. But until
Then,
next
Darren,
Monday,
Alex, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Don't be strangers. See you soon.
and thank you all for listening. Till then, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.